This game looked real neat on Steam. It is! It's dropped Duchy. It's like Tetris plus a roguelike, kind of like Slay the Spire, plus rock, paper, scissors. Really cool. I'm a big fan of it. I first saw Northernlion play the demo, then I played the demo. It's fully out as of some time ago. I do wish it had multiple save profiles, which it seems to not, because I've got a lot of the stuff. But I'll try my best to tell you all what the hell is going on. I've beaten the game on 2 of the factions. There's one more as well, but I haven't tried it yet. I've been trying to beat the game on hard mode, because that's the next one up. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. We got 2 different options here. We got the Duchy, which is focused a lot on resource acquisition, it would seem, is the base one. We also have the Republic, which is focused on cities and neighborhoods and populations, which I've actually been enjoying messing around with a lot. I think to have the best possible chance of beating the game on hard mode, I'd want to play as the Duchy, but I've been having some really good Republic wins, so we'll figure it out. I think being here is decent. So, like Slay the Spire, we got our little branching paths we can take. And in the beginning for the Republic, you start with a little belfry, a little downtown, and a bunch of other stuff that you'll figure out what it does later. Because I have unlocked the ability to, I can actually upgrade. I can upgrade our little belfry to make it better. And I seem to struggle with getting gold early, so we'll get the more gold option. Eventually, we'll get the one that gives us military might, but for now, we need the cash. And whichever one we go here doesn't really matter. But we want to go more planes, because we get food for planes. Do you think you'll end up streaming a little more often now or not? Yeah, probably. I mean, that's the hope. Gotta be done. So this is the Tetris part. We gotta put our little pieces down. If we clear a line, it's called an exploration. You get more resources for what's in the lines if you clear multiple lines at once. But that's not always the best move. There's no like timer on where your stuff goes. You can put stuff in reserve and pull it out at will. It's more so a strategy game rather than like classic Tetris. So each of these planes is going to give us wheat or food. The forest pieces will give us wood. We get money through a variety of other things. And this specific faction, the Republic, also has population. This looks fun. It's really good. I'm a big fan. I'm gonna save this, I think. I think we put this here. We put our warehouses. They harvest 5 wood for each connected neighborhood. We put this here. So we get a whole bunch of resources. And then if we put down our little downtown, like here, it'll transform these plains into neighborhoods. And if we explore these, we get population. And if we put the belfry down there, we kind of pop off. I'll get a little double exploration here. They're called again Drop Duchy. I guess I should change that on stream or on Twitch. We'll throw this here. These will all become neighborhoods, and now we get more wood for doing so. Throw this John on here. Even more. This is a peaceful encounter. There's no enemy. So we're just farming resources currently. We want the belfry to be connected to the city. So we will throw it here. And now we're just farming. See if we can get as many resources as possible. I wish I could get a Tetris here, but it is simply not in the cards. Oh, that's okay, we can get 3. And whatever's left in reserve, you don't get to play. Very simple. Now we get a card, a la Slay the Spire. I'm not a big fan of any of these for an early game option, but I don't like spending money to reroll early either, because I need it. We'll get Treadmill Crane. Makes upgrading our buildings less expensive, which is generally just going to be better. And we can upgrade our little belfry. But first, let's obtain a building card from the... Get a military building with light, heavy, or ranged units. I tend to like to go with light or ranged. We'll have a fair amount of heavy units because of our belfry. Eventually. I think early on, swords can be pretty strong. That is insane. So I'm not a big fan of religion, except for in games. And the faith system in this game is kind of cool. For each point of faith you have, you get plus 5% resources at the end of a round, which is nice. And you can synergize a whole bunch of stuff along with it. Welcome back, boy. So the commandery, I'm a big fan of. It gives you faith 1, and at the end of the round, you recruit X swords, where X is 3 times your faith. And we can, if we can stack faith enough, we can actually make that go off. And there's a variety of other stuff that goes well with that. See, we usually need cash, and we end up going to a hostile region, which we'd prefer to do early. So let's get that cash. My hubris says I should get the extra money. I just traded 15 of my HP for more cash. Just like in real life. Thank you very much, Allegedly Allegra, for the tier 1 sub. Appreciate that. You're gonna have access to such classic emotes as Connor Chuggin and others. Thank you. The reason why I prioritize money so much is that so many of the buildings in this faction require money as an additional cost for for upgrading their buildings. And you need it to unlock new spots to put buildings in, like that. So getting it early is very important. It's not the easiest resource to come by. You get some from the Belfry, though. So now we're going to upgrade our Belfry again. We're going to have it have Garrison 15, so that it will by default have 15 heavy units, which is helpful for dealing with the enemy. So we're going to have to worry about different terrains as well. We were just messing with plains and forests before. Now we got rivers and whatnot. And that's probably going to be one of the terrains that I end up going with later into the game. Just because if you can make it work, they kind of go crazy. They have 2 horse stables and a merc camp. So the rock, paper, scissors aspect of the game is over here, which I'm blocking currently. You have arrows beat axes, swords beat arrows, and axes beat swords. So each of these will end up doing more damage to the numeric total of the units there, depending on which one it is. And if you fight them with your own units, you'll be taking more damage as well. And for that reason, we're not going to have very many swords. The majority of what we're going to be having is heavy. So we probably want to get rid of their mercenary camp, and we can do that by holding it in reserve. Kind of Rome 2 mixed with Vampire Survivors and Tetris. Yeah, it's a really interesting blend of genres that I've found really enjoyable. Put our little pond here. I want to hold my downtown for now. And now I can't hold it any longer. So, currently in the current difficulty setting, I can hold an enemy building in reserve, and if I play the last piece in the queue at the end of the round and it's still in reserve, it just disappears. So it's a good way to lessen the amount of damage you're going to potentially have to deal with. But their harder difficulties don't make it. Yeah, you can, Miles. Hello, Heat Anarchist. You're doing well. Not the best position for our downtown, but what can you do?
I'm late.
We don't really get any benefit for connecting our river pieces. Thank you very much, Cross, guys, for the tier 1 sub 56 months. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome back as well. I think right now we're just city maxing. We don't have a particularly good way of generating faith at current, which is going to be my hopeful end game, is just generating a whole bunch of faith, and then being able to reap the benefits of controlling the masses by doing so. But for now, until I can enact my evil agenda. What's up, Cyrex? Hope you're doing well. Can I spin this in here? I can. I'm aware of her, Miles, through social media, and I've usually liked what I've seen, but I don't know anything about her campaign. Or I've seen that she's running something. Our commander is pretty good. We want this. It doesn't really matter where it goes. Luckily, it's not location dependent. I'm just gonna throw it here. And we have 1 faith. So we'll get 3 times 1 swords, which is 3. It's not a lot, but it's not nothing. So this is a horse stable, and I think I'm gonna throw it right here. At the end of the round, recruit 3 swords for each square between horse stable and the closest building. If I put it here, the closest building has no squares between it. So it won't get any extra recruits, just the 13 that it starts with. Thank you very much, Boy Meets Mini, for the tier 1 sub. Appreciate that. Appreciate the critical racing theory. And thank you, Darumba, for the raid as well. Hope you guys will enjoy the stream. Hope you had a good stream as well. Y'all can't let me play, huh? I'll put this guy here. So you do place the enemy pieces as well, which is kind of cool. And you want to try to mitigate any benefits that they get and maximize yours. And in order to do that, I think here we place their other horse stable. Throw this John down, and then put my belfry right here. This way, it's connected to our city, and the closest building has no terrain between it, so they don't get any extra recruits. And I got some solitaire mixed in. I never really played much solitaire. I did when I was a kid, but I was not paying attention to what I was doing. I don't see the similarities. You'll have to enlighten me. I am a fan of a variety of card games. That over there. Put our warehouses here so we can get a bunch of wood to spend on upgrades. We spin the T or whatever. How do we do this? I hate this game. I needed to spin it, and I could have spun it, and I could have slotted her in there. But I just accidentally set it down. Oh. Medieval Tetris? Kinda, yeah. We throw this John down here. Bada bing, bada boom. We get 2 line clears there. Hey, +3 swords. Let's go. Our faith is getting us dividends. Played a ton of solitaire as a kid. And the fastest I got was 52 seconds. The speedrunners. Speedrunner. Holy shit. Okay, so we have axes which beat swords. So what we could do, if the amount of units that we're sending somewhere is greater than the allied unit count that we're sending it to, these 3 swords will become axes. We'll have 18 with which to deal with these 2. And if any are left, then we take that much damage, but the maths out. We win by 1, which means we get 1 extra gold at the end. Oh, we love a prison, don't we, folks? So I could get fertile grounds, which gives me a bunch of resources. Not the best, I don't think. We get farm if we wanted to turn plains into fields, get more food, and potentially have benefits for that. But the prison just gives you 25 units. The drawback is if an adjacent enemy building has more than 30 units you lose all 25 of your guys. But I place the pieces, so that doesn't often happen. It's just a huge amount of manpower early on. Trade resources or card. I don't want to trade money, but it's going to be easier for us to get wood than it is food because of the warehouses, so we can trade some wood for food. And we want cash, unfortunately. It's a necessity for this faction. We won't pay the iron price to get the extra. And now we go hostile. You can go peaceful here, but it makes the boss stronger, and I don't want to deal with that because the boss is very annoying for Act 1. So we go hostile. And usually I can deal with it anyway. With our extra money, we have extra slots to put our stuff in. They have a wooden fortress, mercenary camp, and siege camp. So they have one of each option. We're going to have a lot of swords. And a fair amount of axes. So we probably want to eat their axes and just keep it in reserve. Their siege camp. So that's what we will do. I can also hire mercenaries, but I don't need to right now, luckily. Wengen Pang. Okay. We throw that here, throw this here. Hold our belfry for a minute. Put that there. And then now the siege, unfortunately, siege camp came up early, so that's just going to stay in our reserve. I'm not going to place it so that it gets eaten at the end of the round. And so we're flying straight up. Whatever comes is what we got to place, which is not the best position to be in. We like to have some flexibility, but what can you do? How does the combat system in this game work? It's math and rock, paper, scissors. Axes beat swords, swords beat arrows, and arrows beat axes. So 2 of your units can kill 3 of theirs, I think, is the way that math's out. If you have advantage. I want to put my downtown in an advantageous location, so I'm going to throw our belfry here, and then plop our downtown on top of it. Can we slide something under there? Not currently. I think, unfortunately, we have to do that. Downtown will turn all these terrain pieces, aside from the river, into a neighborhood for us, which bolsters our belfry. And you gotta bolster your belfry. This is cringe. We lose out on 2 neighborhood pieces, but we gotta move this stuff around. Gonna go a little brazy, put this river here. Our prison. We just need to not have an enemy camp near it, but I don't think they have enough garrison to be able to get rid of all our swords anyway. Just throw it up here. Thank you for finally giving me something I can transform. Very kind of you, game. We have a long neighborhood coming up. I'd like to be able to fill this space. I'm getting trolled, though, unfortunately. Can I slide this in there? I'll have 2 spaces missing. But I'll be able to have 1 space covered if I throw this guy in there. Kind of reminds me of Dwarf Romantic. Yup. I don't know if it's inspired by, but I definitely have felt that as well. The way that adjacency works and stuff like that. Dwarf Romantic is like a chill version of this game. And this game's already pretty chill. Because you have complete control over all the shit. There's no timer. Your high score is subject to how much time you take, but I don't pay attention to that shit. We have neighborhood pieces in the deck as well. And we want those to attach to where the downtown can't transform pieces into neighborhoods. So like right here. The problem is that this is an ugly position. But it's gotta be done, unfortunately. Can I move this in here at all? No. It's like the best spot for it. I feel like it would be cool if there were mechanics that allowed you to like kind of like if there was a mechanic that allowed me to squeeze this square into here through like a building or like a technology card, like a urban planning is a tech card, it's not a building, but affects things. That would be cool. Does this have 20? If we put this next to forests, it'll turn the forests into plains, and also give them 3 swords for each they do that. So they could get a total of 9 extra swords right now. I'm not putting them over here. This is 30. They're not going to get more than 30 swords, but I think we're chilling on that. And the game is just not giving me... Oh, I guess I could put the commandery in there, but, like, that's not that great. This is looking dreadful, but welcome to, there's no way. I can slide her in there. Wait, hold on. Kind of ass, though. The game is not giving me good pieces for the current situation. That was a very satisfying event, though. Throw that in there. So we're looking a little janky, but, you know, good thing comes to those who wait, or what? Good come to those waiting, or something. Got some faith now? Not enough. I need another building to generate it. But I have faith that it'll show up. So yeah, the more lines you clear up to a maximum of 4, the more of a multiplier you get on the resources you get from each one that's explored. I don't tend to care about that too much. I care more about making sure everything I have in terms of buildings is optimized. But I do still try to make sure I can get multiples by, you know, possible. Alright, so axes beat swords, and swords beat arrows. What function does the resources have? It helps you upgrade your cards. It makes your buildings better. You can trade them at specific events for other things, stuff like that. So axes beat swords. What we're gonna do, 15 of these, John, should be enough to kill the 20. I'm still gonna combine it with the 3 here. As long... So if we send a unit type to another unit type that has less, it'll get combined into the larger option. If I send it... So like if I was to send my axes into the sword, it would be plus 15 swords. That would be bad, because then the swords would fight at parity, which I don't really want, because I have an advantage on having axes here. If I have the 18 axes now go to these swords, they have advantage. It won't end up being more than 25, so then I can turn them into swords by combining them here, and then swords beat arrows, so we can send them this way. We maximize the amount of units we have at the end, which gives us gold equal to whatever's left over, which is 15. Bada bing, bada boom. And we get our little faith bonus. Yahoo. Alright, give me something good. They didn't give me something good.
What's all this then?
What's all this then? Thank you very much, Punky Gal, for the 49-month tier 1 sub. Appreciate you. Welcome back. We're chilling. I can get giga money from charcoal kilns if I keep forests around. This tech card, not a building, turns the first forest piece of each round into a plain and gives me 25 wood. That would be really good if I was focusing on plains synergy. And this just gives me 8 arrows for each adjacent military building, allied or enemy. I don't tend to like it. It's a nice shape. It's 3 in a line, which can help a lot. Because often that will help you with your long piece dependencies. But I'm going to roll once. Seminary is kind of it, bro. If adjacent to a religious building, gain 3. So we would have 4 faith at the end of a round, if we're able to make that happen, which I would do all that I could too. And then we would... So having 4 faith multiplied by 3 for the commandery would be 12 swords. Not bad. And it would also help us get more resources, because you get a 5% multiplier for each faith or something like that. We also have Watermill. I'm not really messing with rivers right now. Or Rally Point, which is very plains or field specific. But it's an L piece. It's a small L piece, so you need to completely surround all sides but one to really maximize it. We're going Seminary. Demonary. Gotta pray. Upgrade our Belfry. Now we're gonna have to choose what terrain type we're really gonna want to focus on. Because in addition to the Garrison 15, for each neighborhood connected to the city, we get 5 gold and 2 population. At the end of round, the Belfry will now recruit additional units, military units, for each terrain piece that's adjacent to city pieces. Or neighborhood pieces. The forest, river, or plains. Right now, we don't have any particular synergies with terrain pieces. Long term, you can get a lot of units out of rivers. Take it easy, Ace in Spaces. You can get a lot of units out of rivers, but they're also difficult because they need to all connect. There's not a lot of room for error when it comes to your placement of them. So it's a very, like, if you're going rivers, you're going rivers. Plains or forests, though. You can get a lot of units from plains if you have watchtowers and stuff like that. Forests. We're going Faith. There's a lot of interesting stuff with mountains in Faith, but we're not at that point. Rivers are so tempting, man. But I got to the final boss on this difficulty. Hard, which is the next up from normal. I haven't beaten the game on it yet. Using a river build. But I fell flat at the end because I couldn't get the pieces to go where I wanted. I was just having bad luck. And also making mistakes. So let's try plains. Plains are nice because they're a little bit more versatile. You can transform them into fields to get more food. The food resource. You can transform them into forests with a certain building. There's a lot you can do with them. And we'll see about upgrading this. If we upgrade the commandery, it'll change our multiplier from 3 to 4 times faith for how many units we get, which is kind of huge. That gives us +1. Alright, now we're going to a hostile region that's mostly forests, which is unfortunate given. Just decided to go with. Whatever. Add our little seminary in. Unlock an additional spot. So we're heavy swords and axes, no arrows. So we want to eat their axe and just fight their arrows. That said, Stronghold is really annoying. And Ranger Base is kind of annoying. Ranger Base gets a lot of units, a lot of extra units for each connected forest piece, so we want to, like, abandon it where there are no forests. There's a lot of forests. Stronghold gets extra pieces for being adjacent to a border or empty squares, so you want to completely surround it with buildings or terrain. And it's a 2x2 square, which is annoying to deal with. I don't think I'll need to hire mercenary. Eat their axe. That's an annoying start. Throw that down. We want to start setting up a way to hold this stronghold in position here. And this is going to be the way to do it, kind of. Because I want to put it right in there, in this little square, and put a piece here. I want to put this forest piece down here, and then put the stronghold right there, and then close her in. I hate leaving this piece open. So I could do something weird like this. I want this neighborhood piece to touch other neighborhood pieces. So I need to be able to wiggle in here. Let's give it a sniff. We can throw our prison in here to plug that hole, and then throw that square piece down. We throw the stronghold in right here, and then cover her up in time. I don't know that we want to put the warehouses down yet, because it's really limiting the kind of cards we can put here. We want to put our downtown in here to turn a lot of the other non-neighborhood terrain into neighborhoods, if we can. I think we throw that there, put that in there. And we're still not seeing our downtown, which is really annoying. Ranger base cannot be up here. It would get so many extra units. So it's gonna have to be down. Yeah, we're just not gonna be able to connect this piece. More than likely to, Sub-Guitar Rocker, appreciate you. We're not gonna be able to connect this neighborhood piece to the rest of the city, more than likely. I think we throw this here, because we'll put the downtown in here somewhere when it shows up. And then we put the ranger base in here so that it's not touching any forest pieces. And we guarantee it touches no forest pieces by putting our commandery on top of it, get 1 faith. Put our seminary next to it, get 4 faith. And now we'll get 12 swords at the end of the round. And more resources. Then we'll throw this here. I was judging the game at the start, but it's a good head scratcher. Yeah, I think it's really good. It has legs. They're just not very long currently. The game did just come out. It would be cool to see if they, put up any updates with new cards, new factions, stuff like that. New terrains even would be kind of cool. But for what it is right now, and for the fact that it just came out, I'm a big fan. It's been my go-to game. Can I squeeze this in here? I think I can if I do, like, this. No, you fucking dickhead. I didn't mean to press down and put it there. I wanted to hold right and then spin it, and I was pretty sure that was going to help me spin her in there, but that's one thing I wish the game had as well, was an undo button for the piece you put down. But I can understand why they wouldn't make one. I guess we just have holes in the forest over here. Alright, we want to put our downtown right here-ish. On top of the belfry? Because this way we can put a lot of terrain on top of it and have that transform into the neighborhood pieces. And we want our neighborhoods to be touching plains because we get additional... Why don't you do that? We get additional units for each city piece that's adjacent to terrain. That there. Throw this John in here, get a double clear. Double exploration. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we'll get 6 additional units from that. And 12 from our faith to the commandery. And we already have 25 from the prison. So, chat. Swords beat arrows. And they only have arrows. So we're just going to combine all of our units and absolutely obliterate them. We also completely surrounded the stronghold, so they got no extra units from that. Bada bing, bada boom. Very nice. And the bonus resources we're getting from Faith do add up. Starting to think this game is religious propaganda. If we're going plains, we don't necessarily need something that helps us get food. A building that helps us get wood is decent, but we already have the warehouses. I'm gonna roll once. Fluvial gut. See, they're trying to make me go rivers again. Take it easy, Milky Way. I think so, Miles. I think so. They want me to go rivers, but I've just done that too much lately. I want to do something else. Windmill is useless for us. We're not converting anything into fields. One more reroll. It hurts. This would be nice. We are going plains. If we can get a farm, gain 1 faith for every 8 fields explored. If you can level that up, it's less fields explored. You have the potential to get like a couple, like an extra faith or 2, which can be good, and it's not a building, so it doesn't fill a slot. Tactical advantage is not... You kind of want to like bring all your shit close together with this faction, but try daily bread. If we can get some farms, we're going faith reset each time you start a new map, each time you start a new encounter, yeah. What do we want? We're kind of chilling on everything. What do we have here? Well, let's upgrade our belfry. So we can get more military units for each adjacent plane. We can get more food for each adjacent plane, or more population for each adjacent plane. I think we go more units. The big thing that ends up killing me late in the game is not having enough military units. So, maximizing that from our main building, probably a good idea. Upgrading this is going to be a pretty high priority at one point. It does cost money to do so, which is why I'm hesitant. Upgrading the prison, though. Garrison 40, plus 15 swords. And it's harder for the enemy to free the prison. Probably what we'll upgrade. Upgrading daily bread could be cool, because it's 6 fields instead of 8. How much wood are we using? Not much currently. Did we get another building? I don't think we did. Wait. I'd like to upgrade the treadmill crane, but I need this money for another slot, and we'll probably have to hire mercenaries. The only thing I could really trade for is wood, but I don't really care to do that. Is there any card I don't care about? Not really. I kind of want all of this. No trades. That's depressing. All right, we're at the boss for Act 1. Oh, also, there's a tech tree, but I've unlocked a lot of it. If you complete objectives, you unlock little crowns that you can spend to unlock stuff in the tech tree. Which is why I wish I could have a separate save profile so I could start fresh for stream. But, you know, whatever. Okay. This is the wall. Like Pink Floyd or whatever. They have 2 arrows, a sword, and an axe. We're very sword heavy. We also get a fair amount of axes. So we probably want to get rid of... We want to eat their axe again. It was a fair play. Do I want to hire mercenaries? I think I do. And we're not using a lot of wood, so we can pay wood to do that. Pay 200. And now we have an extra little building for the encounter to make sure we lose the least amount of money, or the amount of HP possible. If I don't win the encounter, whatever amount of units the enemy has left hits your HP total. And obviously, if you go to 0, you die. You likely do a fresh start manually, just need to edit the save file. Yeah, maybe, and like back up the save file, but that's a lot of work. I think we just upgrade the prison. It's a lot of food, but it's also a lot of units for essentially not a lot of effort. I would like to upgrade the crane, but I want to keep the money Does 100 more and we get another slot for later. So we eat the axe. So the wall enemy, there's this wall here. If I put any piece in the red zone, the round immediately ends. But if I place enough pieces in the constrained area, the wall moves back further and further and also gets reduced in the amount of HP it has. So it forces you to be a little bit more careful. Throw this here. We'll put their little strategic pavilion here. This guy wants to be adjacent to other military buildings. We're just not going to let that happen, and we'll be fine. We'll put our prison down here. This is garrison 17. It is not going to get any better than that. Reserve that. Throw that there. This guy wants to be next to forests. We can very easily stop that from happening. Throw this forest down. Put our downtown right here. Throw our warehouse in the little 3-slot we got here. Get it double clear. Game of Thrones reference? Never seen it. I hear people kind of like it, though. Throw this here. I want to slip my little belfry in here, I think. And then we could put the commandery right here. And then just something else that isn't forest, ideally, we'll go over there. Oh, but this thing needs to be placed. Or does it? Alright, cool. The belfry's in position. So we want the seminarium or whatever to be adjacent to the commandery. So it's gonna have to be on one of these pieces. We're gonna hold that for now. Or are we? We can actually just put it right here. Can I get my seminarium or whatever the hell? Please? Thanks. Throw that there. Oh, there it is. Kind of annoying. It's very annoying right now in this world. I think I'm kind of screwed on getting the seminary over here, which is unfortunate because of this goddamn crooked piece. I can't put it in the red zone. That's annoying. I can only do this. I'm actually cooked. What the hell? Wait. Am I, though? Not being able to get a piece into that location on the bottom left was a big L. We're gonna have to end it here. Oh, wait, never mind. That was enough to push it forward again. We still don't get the seminary there, but whatever. Put that there. This is as high as the wall will go. We want to eat their axe there. And now we are done. Bonk. And now the wall is down. And by down I mean erected. So the math is not mathing too well for us right now. But I think we'll still live at least. We want to throw our axes at the sword here, because axes beat swords. Then we want to regroup with... Oh no, we have 40 goddamn swords here. I forgot. Then we regroup with our swords, combine them all, take out their arrows, because swords beat arrows, and whatever's left will hit the wall. So lost. The game is good, okay? Oh, we're chilling. We're gonna take some damage, but not as much as I thought I might. We take 8 damage. But we get to continue. Which is one thing I like about this game. You don't have to defeat all of the units. You have an HP total. So you can lose the battle, but not the war. I think it's pretty cool. And you can heal. So we were kind of thinking about faith maxing. Getting a farm here is kind of nice. It turns each plane into field, which is kind of asynergistic with our belfry wanting fields or wanting plains attached or adjacent to the city. I think you can eventually upgrade it to also favor fields. Maybe we get the farm. I've not tried to do a plains, fields, and faith. A plains, trains, and automobiles build. Alright, so now after we've beaten Act 1, we move on to Act 2. Because there's only so many pieces that can fit on the Tetris board, and because it also throws a interesting wrench into the whole thing, we now have to leave a terrain piece behind. We don't get to take it all with us. So we're going to get rid of what we don't favor, essentially. You can clear forests and turn them into plains, and we want plains, so we get rid of rivers. We're not really rivering. And they're kind of annoying. The reason why we have to do this is because mountains are now a consistent fixture for Act 2. They are a new terrain type that's been introduced. Now we get to go to the university. To get smart or whatever. I'm going to upgrade this here. Because why not? Not that expensive. University gives us technology cards. They're like building cards, but you don't get to place them, and they still help you. Get a technology that transforms terrains. We kind of want that. We're kind of in the business of transforming terrains. When transforming a zone, 4+ squares include one random adjacent plain or forest. That'll help us when we're using our downtown to make more neighborhood pieces, and it'll also help us when we're using our farm to make more field pieces out of plains. Before transforming a terrain, gain 4 of his exploration resource is also really good. I'm not sure which is better. Clearing is also nice, but it's not as consistently good as the other two. I think before transforming a terrain, get 4 of its resources is going to be good. Because a lot of the drawbacks for transforming terrains is that you don't get the bonus for exploring them. Because you get whatever resource that it's been transformed into, unless stated otherwise. But that allows you to still retain some of it. The 2 hostile regions. We want more plains than forests, so we gotta go this one. What are we upgrading? Nothing. And now we can finally unlock the last slot, which means we're free to use our money for other things. Finally. So they have a lot of swords, and they all want to be around forests or mountains. Terraforming, you know it. Well, axes are going to be our best bet. We just don't get a lot of them. Luckily, swords, they'll be at parity, so it's just going to be simple arithmetic. But we're going to want to eat one of the swords. We essentially need to make a little plains area that all of those hidden caves can go in, so they get no bonuses. And this is going to be one of them. Is it ranged? No, it's connected. Throw this here, I suppose. We'll put the hidden cave here. Hold that. Mountains or forest. Throw this in here. Throw this here. Put the Jean there. Get some resources. This creates a dependency for a longer piece, unfortunately. But I think we can tank it. Put the stone down there. Seminary can go in that slot, but then I need to get the commandery there. I put our belfry here. Another annoying ass hidden cave. I need to get my downtown in here. It can help me deal with a lot of this nonsense. That's not it, man. And now the commandery can't get in where the seminary could be. But we do get a forest in there, though, if we use the long piece. We put the prison here. They get more benefit for having a mountain nearby. But we're going to have to, unfortunately, give them a bit of a benefit. Oh, it touches both of them, too. Fuck them. Good luck. We put the commandery here. Get one faith. Put the seminary right on top of him. We get our little farm here, which is not that important currently for our game plan. Our downtown is finally coming up. Forest piece is pissing me off. I'm gonna throw this plains on there. We can hold this hidden cave. If we put the forest or the farm here, we'll still be able to get our downtown in here. Start cooking on that. Can we slide this in here? We can. Not super elegant, but... we've got to do this. This is unfortunately going to have to go like... It has to go there. Because then that goes there and that goes there. And yeah, fuck the entire right side of the board, I guess. I needed this... So, this line, this long piece, this plains, needed to come up earlier. Because the only other long piece I got was that forest and that mountain, both of which would have buffed both of these enemy buildings. So there's probably a strategic blunder in there on my part. We also got unlucky. We did get a fair amount of axes, though. So I think we very easily deal with their arrows. Convert to axes, because we should get low enough. Combine with these swords and then knock the two swords out, because axes are better than swords. Thank you very much, Humanist Report and Matt Binder, for the raids. I assume you were streaming together. Hope you had a good one. What's up? Long time no see. From me, I haven't streamed in a minute. Appreciate you both. Goddamn, the double raid. Oh, I almost hit exclamation point Matt Binder. Appreciate you. What's up, everybody? I was talking about how we're all in hell when it comes to the most recent Republican tax bill and them sneaking in the provision, the amendment in the middle of the night to try to make it so that Medicaid can't help trans people get their HRT and cover other procedures, which is very cringe and not cool. But now we're playing a little bit of Drop Duchy, which is like Tetris meets Slay the Spire meets Rock, Paper, Scissors meets Dorf Romantic, if you know what any of that means. It's a fun game. It's also kind of chill. But thank you very much for the raid. I hope you guys had a good stream. We win this handily. And we get 33 bucks out of the deal for having 33 left over. A lot of the strategy, as you can see, it revolves around maximizing your benefits and minimizing the enemies. This is an interesting choice. We're kind of faith maxing right now, as we all kind of need to be to get through this difficult time. So Abbey is interesting. It's also a squiggly piece. Probably has a proper name in Tetris terms. But this also gives us a lot of money, which is what we need to upgrade a lot of faith buildings. Training camp is nice. As long as it's aligned with this piece here, any building along this line vertically and horizontally will, on my side, will get 12 additional of whatever units this building is already producing. So that's just a generally good piece to fill in the gaps. But I think we go Abbey here. The Abbey Road and see where it takes us. I want to upgrade both of these. So this one will give us 1 faith, so we have 5 faith. So that'll be 5 times 3 on our commandery. So we'll have 15 swords. And if we can upgrade it ever, we can even increase the multiplier. It'll also help us get more resources generally. And then, the Abbey itself, we get 10 times our faith in gold, which is helpful for upgrading other buildings. So I think we upgrade the Abbey first, because it'll help us generate the resources we need to upgrade the other stuff we're doing. And then we get another building. Oh, okay. So we can get a building card with garrison, meaning that we just get a military building of some kind. We get one that produces wood, if we had a deficit of that. We have warehouses by default, which give us wood for our neighborhood, so we're chilling. So we get a religious building card, which is kind of huge. Chapel's kind of cringe. If adjacent to any other building, gain 1. Otherwise, it does nothing. No thanks. End of round. If adjacent to at least 2 mountain pieces, gain 3 faith. Otherwise, lose 5. Is really interesting. It is a single 1x1 square. So it's not the hardest thing to fit into a location, but it is difficult, because it's small, to be able to have it touch 2 different mountain pieces. And if you don't get to do that, you lose 5 faith. But you do gain 3. Another commandery would be cool, because it'll essentially double what we got. But I've never really run Hermit's Cave. It'd be cool, maybe. There's also mountain and field and plains synergy in the game. All right, what are we hurting for? We're gonna need stone, but we're gonna be generating it anyway. Get food from the depot. Take the standard one. I could pay HP, but I don't want to, because I'm already kind of low. And the boss of this act is very annoying. Get another bit. Works with mountains, produces gold, works in plains. So on Act 3, we're going to have to get rid of another terrain, and it's probably going to be forests. So anything that works on mountains or plains is going to be chill. We transform a lot of plains into neighborhoods and farms. So we might not be able to very regularly get plains synergies because of that, because we're transforming them away. So I think we get one that works with mountains. Flip sock. You know I can't leave without my chicken bake. Recruit 10 for each adjacent mountain. Oh, and this is the synergy I was talking about. Recruit 2 arrows for each plain or field adjacent to the connected mountain pieces. I think that's just what we get. It's a 1x1, so it's very good. It just has to be connected to a mountain. Connected meaning the pieces touch each other. So it can go from like the top of the map all the way down to the bottom if they all touch each other. And we're going to want our mountains to be outside of a bunch of plains and fields that are outside of our neighborhood. So it's just a very natural synergy. I think it's a good way to go. They're both hostile, but we have more plains at this one, so that's where we're going. We can put one of these Johns in. We're gonna start moving stuff out, I think. We want the farm because we can get more faith from it. Its range is 2, and it's a 1x1 square. That's 12 potential fields, which means at maximum we could get 1 extra faith. I don't think that's worth it. It might be later on, depending, but for right now, not really. We don't necessarily need warehouses, because we can get forests to give us some of that, but we're gonna need it to upgrade some shit. Are you liking the game? I'm a big fan. Dude, what are we upgrading anyway? If we upgraded Daily Bread, we could make fields a little bit more efficient. We can get a maximum of 2 faith for the entire farm if we're able to transform every single plains around it in its area into a farm, which is still really difficult. So that's not the play. Abbey just gives us more money. This would just give us more wood per. This gives +1 faith. Not that expensive, but I want to upgrade the commandery. That's like one of the linchpins of the build. I don't think I'm upgrading anything right now. Hermit's Cave is a must because it gives us a lot of faith. And Vantage Point would be cool to see how it works, but Prison just gives so much currently. Like, there's not... Like, how much are you really going to get out of this? Things have to go really well, and you have to get good pieces. You have to get served good pieces in a way that you can actually maximize this for it to really eclipse the prison's amount of units. So I think we keep the Vantage Point out for now. Never mind, I forgot we're not limited on spaces. For some reason, I thought I was at 8 of 8 already. I forgot how to count. We probably put the Vantage Point in then. They are very arrow heavy. We're probably gonna want to eat the stone fortress because it's really annoying. They get 10 additional arrows for each mountain piece aligned with it. It's a 2x2 square, so it's the entirety of the map up and sideways in that range. And we're trying to have a lot of mountains as well, or like a fair amount of them. So like that's just really annoying. The name of the game, Drop Duchy, without a T. Just came out not too long ago. The question is, do I need the extra shit? We're kind of hurting for money, so putting the Abbey in to give us 15 times, what is our faith going to be? At best, 3, 6, 7, 8. 15 times 8 cash seems pretty good. A bit of a greedier play, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. And hopefully after this we can upgrade the commandery, and then we can start upgrading other stuff. Alright, good luck. We want to eat their stone fortress. And it's coming up very soon. So that means we're not going to have a reserve spot. Yoink. If an enemy building is in the reserve spot at the end of the round when the last piece in the queue is placed, it just gets destroyed. So you don't have to worry about in this case, 34 plus arrows. Mitigates a lot of potential damage. Those this John down like this. Then put the plains next to it. Then put the Abbey along it. I guess we could just do it like that. We throw this wherever our town is going to be. Look, ooh, we do have a neighborhood piece, which will connect to it. We want the Abbey to fill out a pretty decent space. Also, this right here is our Hermit Cave spot. Hopefully it shows up soon. It's the easiest Hermit Cave I've ever seen. It needs to touch 2 mountain pieces. There they are. I'm going to put that there. It's not very elegant, but it's what I got to do. Same for this, unfortunately. I think. We could do this and just slip the Hermit Cave in there, but the chances of that happening are getting slimmer. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, man. Good luck. This vantage point needs to be put in such a position that it is not near any mountains. Or, like, not connected to them, I should say, like, adjacent to them. Which is not going to be that hard to do. We could put it, like, right here. Throw that on like that. We put it here. This is annoying. Throw that there. We put our seminary here, next to the abbey. We get more faith. We throw the commandery on top of that. And now this guy is not touching any mountains. Alright, now we gotta think about how we're gonna get this god-forsaken hermit cave to touch 2 mountain pieces. This is the perfect spot for it. Look at it. It's just not shown up yet in the cube. It's in here somewhere. I hate creating little pockets like this. But I'm going to do it. Like, it's not, the game's not helping me out too much. I'm throwing that down like that. It looks like shit. It feels like shit. It's shit. So the rally point in here, it wants to be next to fields and plains. What we'll do, slap a forest down on top of it. And we are never, ever getting back together with the hermit cave, it would seem. So I'm putting the belfry in here. Then we throw our downtown right next to it. And we put the hermit cave up top left. Simple as. We went like this? Yes. Throw that up there. And there's the hermit's cave, you son of a bitch. Because, like, that's funny, because I can't have it touch both of the goddamn mountains this way. So this has to be somewhere else. You bitch, you. This fits in here nicely. It'll get transformed by the downtown into buildings, which bolsters our shit. This guy slides in here nicely, like so. I feel like that's actually city planning for sure. And now, 2 different mountain pieces. End of round, if adjacent to at least 2 mountain pieces, gain 3 faith, otherwise lose 5. Or gain in 3, brother. Simple as that. Throw that in there. Throw this up here, get another exploration. Bada bing, bada boom. 8 faith total. Our commandery is going to get 24. And 120 gold from the abbey. Faith maxing is reaping dividends. Very easy to control the population. Make sure you get as many resources for yourself out of it as is possible. Just like in real life. Swords beat arrows. We throw the 40 over here. Actually, we could just combine. Throw the 40 over here. Hit the 34. Axes beat swords, so we're going to want to convert to axes of our own, and then they 1v1 over here. There you go, plus 28 gold in my pocket. And our resources are not looking that bad. Fanaticism is very funny. I've tried to make it work. It doesn't. It's too expensive. End of round, convert a random enemy group with less than your faith plus 10. At this difficulty level, and even normal difficulty level, the only time this is ever going to work is very early in the game. We are at the midpoint now. It's not going to work. Because it'd be 18 for us, in best case scenario. In that last round, there was no enemy that had 18 or less units. It's just a dead card. That said, all of this is also shit. I'm never running an exploited lands. Just not happening. Now that is what we like to see. Castle. Garrison 25, can't complain, but it has noble when placed at a plane on each empty adjacent space, which can kind of be a negative, but is also often a positive. It can fill in gaps that you can't fill in otherwise with actual pieces. We want extra planes as well because of our belfry getting more units for the amount of planes that are adjacent to the city. So I think the castle is the way to go. It does take up a lot of space, though. Minimum, it takes up 6 spaces, even though it's a 4x4, because it'll make the empty spaces that you needed to slide it into a location from above into planes as well. So it is a very large building, and a maximum it can be 12. Have gain 5, lose 5 for like nothing. Hell yeah. Alright, we upgrade our belfry. More units or resources? We're gonna have our warehouse to get wood, potentially. But if we have the belfry get us wood anyway, we can get rid of the warehouse and get another unit in there. Or another unit producing building in there. That's probably what we want to do. Because warehouse is a bit of a dead card late game. I need big number on military late game at this difficulty, and warehouses is not getting it for me. We can finally upgrade our commandery. Now 4 times our faith instead of 3. Pretty poggers. I should have gotten the treadmill crane. This is like the time to do it, but I guess we'll do it in the inverse order. This gives us +1 faith. I simply don't care enough. A peaceful region. Before the boss, we go to a port to refill defenses, which is probably what we're going to have to do, because this boss is annoying as hell. And who cares about the trading fair? Peaceful region. We're farming. I don't know that I want to change anything. How many? There's 8 forests? Get out of here, man. All right, I don't need a warehouse if there's 8 forests in this place. I don't want 8 forests, but what the game gives me. So we'll put a castle. Oh, wait, we don't need a castle. That'll get us extra money at the end. I think we put our farm in, since we're farming. We'll get enough wood from the forests existing. I think this is the play. Okay. Well, there's our farm. Put this thing in here. Put that thing there. Throw this John in here. Early Hermit's Cave is interesting. How does that thing fit on there? It doesn't really. That would be terrible. I think we commit a sin here and leave an empty space. Give me a mountain coming up, please, on this next drop, or so help me God. Okay. Good luck, team. Probably easiest to put another mountain piece on top of this. There it is. All right. Done. Put the prison down there. Put the farm right there. Put that down there. We could slide our belfry in there, but we don't. Our downtown isn't here yet. I think we do like that. And put this guy on top. And now that'll give us +5 faith at the end of the round, which will give us a lot more money from the Abbey and from leftover units from the commandery. Or that guy there, because it fits in nicely. Our downtown is finally here. Put the belfry right here. Put the downtown right here. Get a bunch of neighborhoods. Flip this guy around in here. Our Abbey is here. Throw it there. Put this here. Put the... We want to keep that open because we have a long piece that's a neighborhood coming up. We put the seminary here. Flip Kuro. Put the commandery like here or something. And then we definitely want this to connect so we can maximize our town. Put this guy on here. Put this guy on here. Take this out. Put this guy over here. Put that back. Put that on here. Put that John there. And put this guy here. Get a double clear. Or double queer, man. Got 10 faith from that because of our upgraded Hermit's Cave. Holy moly. Bodes well for the future, for sure. I'm placing a building adjacent to an allied building with the same unit type. They both gain +4. How often do we do that? Take it easy, Boy Mince Mini. Thanks for the raid again. We can put swords next to swords relatively often. It doesn't take up a slot, so it's not terrible. The only other thing I could think of is if we get a tech that gives us religion, which would be a reliquary, because it lets you start the round with 1 faith. There's also one that heals you for the amount of faith you have, which is nice too. Healing don't do shit on the final boss though, because you only have a maximum amount of health. We'll roll it once. I mean, that's an option. We're kind of mountaining. Stone Fortress wouldn't be terrible, but I think the military units we have already are good enough. We'll get a tithe. Every time we gain faith, we get 5, so we'll get 50 extra gold around if we maximize our faith. Plus the Abbey gold. We go Port. Port lets us refill our defenses, get +30. We're at max health, and now we have the highest possible chance to not die to the Keep. The Keep is an interesting boss. It has towers. So the last one had the wall, and it forces you to build constrained. The Keep has towers, and it has little lines that if you put buildings in their little sight lines, the boss gets stronger. It's very annoying. But, you know, you do what you gotta. Castle is actually not the best option here, because it's a square, and because of how the sight lines are laid out, there aren't a lot of, like, 2x2 square options to not, you know, get in the sightline, unfortunately. But we do want to replace our farm with something. We can try the vantage point. What's the makeup? 6 and 6. We can try the vantage point. Castle is so consistent. It's just tough. Try the vantage point. Good luck. No enemy buildings. Just 225 or more units to deal with. We can't place the prison next to this thing, because then all of our shit gets taken away. So we need to set up a location for the prison that isn't in a sightline. That's gonna have to go there. If this is touching this, it's just, we're gonna lose 40. I think what we'll do is cry. We'll throw that there, put the commandery here, and then the prison can fit here, so long as we can put something in that area. And this keeps us out of the sight lines as well. I think we do like that. We throw this guy here. Luckily, neighborhoods don't count as buildings. Put it in like that. Hopefully our downtown will allow us to do something decent with it. We could slip that in like that. Essentially, I guess we want to keep our mountains close to each other. Essentially, no matter what we do, we're going to not be able to fill up this spot, which is fine. We can create a long piece dependency on the right here if we do this, and then put the vantage point in there. I don't really want to do that, though. Belfry here is not that bad. Out of the sight line. The worst location. This actually allows us to build this up a little bit more. And it immediately gives us some benefit. I don't know how much we're going to be able to maximize that, though. This does allow for that, though. Then we could do like that, and we get even more. And then we can T-spin this John in here. So now this is we're gonna have to increase the amount of shit they have. Like, I can't put this down and not have it be in a sight line. Except for, like, oh, I guess, like, there. But this locks off the rest of the city, which is not something I want to do. So we'll hold the Abbey for now. This is kind of cooked. Because that cuts, yeah, that cuts our shit off. I don't want my shit cut off, man. Y'all know I'm an intactivist. This is like the least bad option. Unfortunately, they gain 15 units off that, but it's what needed to be done. I think this... I can't really, like, not... I guess I can have there be a hole there. So this is the annoying part. You have to play essentially inefficiently to make this shit work. How do we get this guy touching 2 mountain pieces? We have a square, but, like, it's the perfect square. This shit is exactly in a position where I don't want it to be. This works for that. We're gonna have to hold the mountain after the next turn. And then put something down that allows the Hermit Cave to touch both of them. I think that is possible. So we're gonna have to take sightline damage again. We hold that mountain. I think we have to put the Hermit Cave here. No, but then we can't put the goddamn mountain there, dude. This is like the worst possible mountain shape, man. Oh, this is cooked. And the upcoming shapes are not helping. The only thing I can do is hope that in those last two pieces, there's another mountain that will somehow work with the Hermit's Cave. We could also just not play it, because I don't want to lose the faith, but we're also not going to maximize the faith. And we could very well die here. I don't want to put that over there. I need to have two pieces here. And one piece here, one piece here. To be able to put them out in this upper quadrant. And then put the Hermit Cave right there. I just don't have the pieces for it. I could have put the seminary there, but then we would have lost the benefit. Maybe, I guess, the cost benefit then would have been to lose the seminary benefit. And also take sightline damage. And then get even more faith than the seminary would give. But, like, that shit is cooked, man. And I don't want to put any mountains on this side, because this is where our downtown is. We want to transform all that from the plains that we have. So I think we do this and hope for the best. Good luck. It's not a fucking mountain. And they're none of the pieces are helpful. We're cooked, I think. Game screwed me. Such is life. Oh, the final piece, though. The final piece is exactly what I need. I just don't have the space to fucking place it, man. Son of a bitch. Like that, the last square. If I could put the square here, I could put the mountain there, and then it's touching two mountain pieces. But the only place I could put this long-ass piece doesn't allow for any maneuverability for the rest of it. And putting it up here, it'll end the round because it's out of bounds, but it also won't count. It'll blink red, like that. So that it just won't count, even though it's technically touching it. It's not on the board because it's not within the bounds. And this is one of the drawbacks of this game. The drawbacks, yeah, of this game is that if the pieces don't go your way, it's not, you know, it's not super easy. Obviously, there's skill involved with like making sure you put shit in good locations, but you can only do so much to mitigate the effects of the random nature of the queue. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to be done here. Because there's two more pieces that I just don't, like, mathematically do not have the space for, while maintaining a spot for the mountain. So at this point, we just mitigate the damage. Unfortunate. Yup. Yeah, we lose. I should have just held the Hermit's Cave, but I wanted to risk it because, like, what else is the point? But yeah, mathematically, we cannot win. Good night. Well, they don't call it hard mode for no reason, man. I see why they call this game hard mode 3. Not even close, brother. Okay, I'm starting to see, maybe on this map specifically, it's not good. Vantage point was big ass for this map. Because you can't really do everything you want. The sightlines force you to put your pieces down in such a way that they're not ever really going to be efficient unless you get very lucky. So Vantage Point was a bad call here. We needed a more consistent military building, which I guess would have been the castle, but the castle's still not very good for this map. Because it's a square. A 2x2 square, man. Not bad, though. Not as good as other runs I've gotten. I've gotten to the last boss and died. This is the Act 2 boss. Last boss is the Act 3 one. But, you know, you can't win them all. That was Drop Duchy. Hope you enjoyed. Hit the like if you liked. Subscribe for more. I'm going to try to upload to this channel the second one a little bit more frequently. And, yeah, take care.